So you are using CashOS for gaming and productivity?
Stop it. Get some help.
And with that, welcome to another video on this channel. Now this might be a bit of a controversial opinion, but stop using Arch on your PC. It is simply not made for you, especially if you use your computer for multiple tasks. And yes, that also counts for Arch-based distros, like CashOS, Manjaro, EndeavourOS and Garuda Linux. For multiple reasons, and to understand why that is, we need to look at what Arch Linux is and for who it was made for in the first place. And now to show you guys exactly what I mean, we need to look at what Arch is. So we're just gonna type in Arch Linux right over here and go into the official Arch Linux website right here. And first of all, you can simply see here already one of the reasons why and for who Arch Linux is primarily made for. A simple lightweight distribution to give you the complete control over your computer. That's what Arch is. Now let's go. I also went ahead and asked DeepSeek for what Arch Linux is designed for. And first of all, it says Arch Linux is designed for users who want a simple, minimal and customizable Linux distribution that gives you full control. And it lists here a couple of reasons why. First of all, simplicity. Not easy, but a simple design. Like you've probably seen, if you want to install Arch Linux, you basically start up with a command line and you need to add everything by yourself, so that you can basically configure your OS to your needs. So what you need your OS to do, that's how you configure it, which makes it very difficult to design a Arch Linux distro that is usable for multiple use cases, because it's simply not designed for it. It's designed for you to build your distro how you want it and for the use case you want it. So not basically for multiple reasons. Like if you want to use a distro that is focused on productivity, then you go ahead and design your Arch Linux for productivity. But if you want to use it for multiple things like productivity, game developing, code programming basically, and gaming, like very multiple tasks at the same time, it's not gonna feel as streamlined and as good as it is, because it is simply not designed for it. So for example, other distros like Linux Mint right here. Linux Mint is designed to have for multiple tasks. And you may be asking now, then why are you not making an Arch distro that is designed to suit exactly that needs for multiple tasks? Well, because the distros that are based on Arch are not designed to be distros that you use for multiple tasks. They are designed to be distros that you use for maybe one or two tasks, but not for a lot of multitasking. It is simply not designed for it. And Linux Mint is based on Ubuntu, I think, or Debian, I think Ubuntu. And Ubuntu, if you go to the Ubuntu website right over here, Ubuntu is completely designed and built around to be stable and for multiple tasks at the same time. So like gaming, video editing, productivity, game developing, and all of that stuff. Which is why Ubuntu-based distros are that good if you want to do multiple tasks, and why Arch distros oftentimes kind of feel unfinished and half-baked, at least in my opinion. Because distros like CashOS are made for you to be beginner-friendly and to do multitasking inside of them, so they don't feel finished, because they are built on something that is made for you to create something that is made for you to create like one task, or to accomplish one task. And for that, Arch Linux is very, very good. Like if you want to build an AI server or something, or if you want to have a distro that is only used for code developing or code writing in general, like programming for example, or game developing, if you want only that type of stuff. But to be honest, most people are not gonna want that, because most people want to do multiple things on their computers, right? Where you shouldn't use an Arch-based distro, because they are made for one task, or to accomplish one task. And in that they're really good. Like if you install an Arch distro that is focused on that, on what it's designed for, then you're gonna have a way better experience like in Debian if you only use it for that one task. But as soon as you try to extend that outwards, then it's just not gonna work out very well. And that's why I just can't recommend any Arch-based distros, as beginner-friendly designed as they may be. But if you want a rolling release distro, there are alternatives to Arch that are very good and are designed for multiple tasks, like Fedora Linux, for example. Fedora Linux is a rolling release distro, which means you always have the latest packages and stuff like that, but it is also stable at the same time, because they basically have a test timeline before the stuff rolls into the main distro, but they are also rolling release, which makes it stable, which is very good if you want to use it for multiple tasks. And you have always the latest packages. Like if you're using an AMD GPU, you're always gonna have the latest AMD Mesa drivers. So that's why I can genuinely recommend to people that want a beginner-friendly distro for multiple tasks. I can just recommend Fedora. Fedora is like the only distro that I can recommend. If you want to have a rolling release distro that you can use for multitasking, like for multiple professional tasking, and want, like I said, the rolling release stuff. But now if you have an NVIDIA GPU, Arch is also not that great, simply because it's a lot more of a headache to install it. Fedora, for example, I think has a driver manager that allows you to straight up install the NVIDIA driver, and you definitely don't want to use the NVIDIA driver from the NVIDIA website because they are not compiled for the OS. So you definitely want to use the driver manager or the driver packages that your OS, for example like Fedora right here, provide you. So if you have an NVIDIA GPU, I can, on the rolling release side, only recommend Fedora. And if you want to go to the stable route and have an NVIDIA GPU, I can very heavily recommend Linux Mint, because Linux Mint is very stable. It has a driver manager that allows you to always install basically almost the newest NVIDIA driver as possible, and you're not gonna always get the newest NVIDIA driver even on a rolling release distro, because like I said, the people behind that distro need to compile the driver before they put it out, so you're gonna have to wait a bit of time before you can install the newest NVIDIA driver. Also on stable distros it's the exact same. So these are the reasons why you should stick to a stable distro, or distros that are from the ground up designed to do multiple tasks at the same time, and they feel finished and they feel made for it. And that also explains why Arch distros that try to be there for beginners and for the masses, so for multiple use cases, are not as fetched out and don't feel as finished as other stable distros like Linux Mint and Ubuntu that are made for the masses and made from the ground up to be beginner friendly and to be designed to tackle multiple tasks at the same time. And I think that is what a lot of people get wrong about Arch Linux. It is designed to serve your specific workflow and not to serve multiple workflows at the same time. And with workflows I mean gaming, video editing, professional workloads like architectural work, coding and game developing. It is simply not designed to suit the needs of the majority of people that use their computer for multiple highly advanced tasks. It is designed for you to build it around your specific workflow. So there's only one scenario where you should consider using Arch Linux, and only Arch, not an Arch-based distro. And that is if you want a distro that fits exactly your needs. So exactly what you put there, what you need in that distro, you're gonna put it there, with nothing getting in your way. But then you should install Arch without the Arch install script or any form of graphical installer. Because then, and only then, Arch Linux shines. And that's where I will end this video off. What are your opinions about Arch Linux, and do you feel the same way, especially with the distros that try to be made for multiple tasks like CashOS, that they feel unfinished in a certain way? write down in the comments, and if you wanna stick around and see other videos of me yapping about Linux, hardware, tech and gaming in general, you can of course subscribe. And that's it for this video. See you in the next one.